Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up.
Hey guys, and welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully you're having a great Monday or start to your week. And I'm glad that you decided to spend a little bit of your evening with me tonight. So welcome in, everybody. I have something sparkling or something on my eyelash, but that's okay. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. And if you do appreciate tonight's case coverage and the content, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. And if you guys don't mind taking a leap of faith and just hitting the like button ahead of time for me, that way we can get out into the algorithm and more people can come in and chat with us. So it's a win-win for both of us. I like to consider that anyway. How's everybody doing? Let me get back up to the top. I was chit-chatting with you guys in here. Hey, Ladybug. Again. You got some sunshine where you were? It was cold here. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Bullets and Bling. Hey, Catherine. Catherine said that she had storms there now. We had storms. Was it last night? Yeah, last night we had bad storms. Hey, Lisa. Good evening. Yeah, how is everyone tonight? How is everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good. I wish we would have had some sunshine, though, today. Maybe tomorrow. Let me see. I'm going to check real quick. Let's see how tomorrow's going to be. I think it's supposed to rain, actually. So, you can let me know where it's going to, if it's going to be nice where you are. Actually, tomorrow it's going to be 53 and it's not going to rain. So I could take that. If the sun comes out, that's like a summer day over here. Hey, DM. Hey, Miss Rosebud. It's good to see you. Hey, Catherine again. Major thunderstorms. Oh, wow. They must have been floating from over here. It will. This trial will be here before you know it. And then what will we talk about other than the trial? When the trial is over, it's going to be like, I don't even know how that day is going to, I don't even know how that experience is going to be like. Sorry, I had one of my hairs on my mic. Hey, Petunia. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Tony. Good evening. Hey, KCG. Hey, Michael. Doesn't it make you want to dance? Me too. Someone said they didn't like the opening one day. I was like, well, shoot. I was like, I love it. And I do have like another song I play whenever I do pre-recordeds, and then we have a song we play when we do members lives. And then one of the songs is the same for members and the other channel or something like that. But some of them, a couple of them are the same, just one. So, because there's so many different like facets to the channel, I could make a different song for each one, and I'd probably be here all year long. Hey, Tony. Hey, Sailor Outlaw. It's good to see you guys. I'm just looking through the chat just to see what you guys are saying. Hey, Crystal. It's good to see ya. Hey, Cricket Day. Good to see ya. I'm really getting dizzy out of all the info dumping out of Idaho. Yeah, it's been something. It like I said last night, like we'll read through the documents and I'll grasp what it's saying, but I feel like sometimes we don't give it enough time. Like I'll grasp it and I'll be like, that's really serious. And then I'll like move on to the next, the next topic. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on. So we gotta kind of go back a little bit. But Steve Goncalves came out and did a 22-minute interview. So I thought we would watch that tonight, and then we would go over the some of the timeline and some of the a couple other videos that I found for us. So hey, Smitten Kitten. Well, we are here. We are here to applause. Hey, Lunch Lady. And this is the best chat literally on the YouTube streets. We got they're the nicest people. I can say that for sure. Y'all are the nicest chat I've ever been in. You're very welcoming to everybody. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Even if we're like, we have a lot of people in chat, you guys are still really like good at like, welcoming each other in. And I appreciate that. Oh, your sleep's been off. Probably since you moved, Mary Beth. So let's go up here. So we'll watch the Steve Goncalves interview, but the title of that interview, it says like, let me see exactly what it says, because it's not, I don't want y'all to think that it's like something like crazy, because it says here, Kaylee Goncalves' dad has an issue with that 911 call. And no, no, ma'am, I don't think he does. I listened to the whole thing and I didn't hear that at all. So we'll listen to it. We'll listen to it again though. Really? Oh, the Chronicles of Olivia is dating like Steve Jr.? I could see that. I mean, good looking boy. Well, good for her. He melts my heart too. Hey, Margot. He's been, I thought he knew a lot more than what like, what they actually do know. They don't know anything. They really don't know a lot. Because every time something comes out, he's doing an interview and he's like, this is really nice. This is glad that, we got a big document dump and so on and so forth. So. Very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm still interested in that. I'm like, as the world turns. So this is from one of the websites that we use pretty often for getting like documents or doing timelines and stuff like that. And they have, of course, the Moscow homicides on there. They have a bunch of other cases on there as well. So it's crimetimelines.com is the page that I'm using. And it's just the Idaho 4 case file in that. So if you guys ever want to check it out, I can actually put it in the chat too for you guys. So I'm going to blow this document up. That way we can see it and make sure I'm on the right one. Yep, I am. Okay. So I can blow this up really big. I love that. I love that for me and us. I was going to say that cricket day that we actually want to do a live. I have a bunch of the interviews still up on my like browser, not my browser, but like where you can put tabs. And because I did individual videos, one for all of Xana Kronodal's interviews, like her family's interviews, one for Ethan Chapin's family's interviews, one for Mattis Mogan's interviews, and then two for Kaylee Goncalves' interviews, because that's how many at the time that we had. It was only two lives. It wasn't like, and the lives weren't like terribly long, I don't think. But if we did it now and we went through all of them now, oh my goodness. I don't know if I could find them all, but if I can, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do like another round of interviews, because he's done and Christy's done a lot. I'm surprised Olivia really doesn't speak more, actually. So this is going to be, we're just going to go back over the timeline of the text between Dylan and Bethany. Basically what was on record. So the time, the record, and then the authority for admission. So whether they are hearsay, not hearsay, they're admissible at trial, they won't be admissible at trial, things like that. I thought we would go through it, and it will give us a little bit of a better understanding, because some of this I didn't know if it was hearsay or not. So DM to EG is the Uber driver, inquiring if he was driving. And that was at 2:10. Sorry, I should start over there. 2:10:29. And it's not hearsay, not for the truth of the matter asserted. And actually, I'm gonna have a question for you guys. Let me put it in here so I don't forget, like into the poll. Like we'll start a question and answer. I have to put probably on a live. So I don't know why I today, this is the first time I thought of it, but why didn't Brian unalive people at his own university? Like, why did he go across state lines over to Idaho? I'm just curious. That made me very curious. I was like, oh, that inquire minds want to know why you decided to go over there. I mean, because he wasn't from like Washington. I mean, he wasn't from there. Maybe because he was going to live there. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. So EG or DM to EG, that's the Uber driver. It's not hearsay, so not for the truth of the matter asserted. At 2:13, EG to DM confirming he was driving. That's not hearsay. Not hearsay. 2:53 a.m. MM calls BF. Not hearsay. Not a statement. So Madison Mogan calls Bethany Frank. 3:51:03. DM creates a new contact in her phone. Not hearsay. Not a statement. So at 3:51, when we all thought that she was asleep in bed, because her statement in the affidavit says that she was awoken at 4 or around 4, to what she thought was Goncalves playing with her dog. So I don't know. Maybe that just slipped her mind. But at 4:19, Bethany Frank calls DM and says the record of the call itself is not hearsay, since it is not a statement. In addition, BF and DM should be able to testify regarding what was discussed during this phone call as it present sense impressions. So like this is exactly what happened, since they're both here to do it, to testify to it. At 4:20 a.m., DM calls Xana Kronodal, and it's not hearsay. At 4:20 a.m., DM calls Kaylee Goncalves, not hearsay. At 4:28, DM calls BF for 41 seconds. And it says here, the record of the call itself is not hearsay, since it is not a statement. In addition, BF and DM should be able to testify regarding what was discussed during this phone call as present sense impressions and or excited utterances. 4:21 a.m., BF calls Xana Kronodal, and not hearsay. At 4:21:50, DM calls Madison Mogan. At 4:22, Bethany Frank calls Ethan Chapin, and these are not hearsay. At 4:22:08, DM to BF, that's when, the text messages start. No one is answering, so it's present sense impression and or excited utterance. And they said that if it was one of those two things, that it could be brought into the trial. 4:22:11 a.m., DM to BF, I'm really confused right now. Present sense impression and or excited utterance. And the judge could rule against this, and say it's not. But he gave us the documents, so I guess he's letting it in. So at 4:22:42, DM to Kaylee Goncalves. She said, Kaylee, and that's not hearsay. They got all this stuff off their phones. Let's go. Let me grab the next one. Oh man. I should have did that. That's okay. I think I could just go back. Oops, maybe. What the heck am I doing? That was weird. Like, oh my gosh, this thing has a mind of its own. Okay. That's so crazy. I'm not the only one that was seeing that, right? Because it was like my hand wasn't even on like doing anything with the mouse. What's up with mouses and being like possessed lately? I've heard a couple other creators say the same thing about their mouse. So I'm just kind of like, okay, what's going on here? 4:22:43 a.m. DM to KG, which is Kaylee. What's going on? 4:23 a.m. BF outgoing message in Snapchat. And this is the record of the message itself. It's not hearsay since it is not a statement. The content of the message would be a present sense impression. 4:23:15 BF DM, yeah, dude, WTF, uttered excitements and or present sense impression. And that's what these are all going to be. So 4:23:28 BF to DM, Xana was wearing all black. And in my opinion, I think that they had talked up here earlier, didn't they? Like talked on the phone. And to me, that says she said something earlier about seeing someone in all black. And I feel like Bethany might be like saying, oh, wait, hold on. Xana was wearing all black, like to reassure Dylan at the time, not realizing like, no, because it says DM to BF. I'm freaking out right now. And she says, no, it's like a ski mask almost. And Bethany says, STFU, actually, like he had something over for his head and little mouth. So forehead, that's forehead. So like he had something over his forehead and little mouth. Like, I don't know, and if that was supposed to be Anne, but I'm assuming that she was texting fast and not really probably coherent that much to really be texting. Also, if you think someone's in your home and you're not sure if they left yet, like you probably are trying to be quiet while you're texting or doing anything of the sort. So DM to BF, Bethany, I'm not kidding. I am so freaked out. BF to DM, so am I. And these are all excited utterances. At 4:24, DM to BF, phone is going to die. It says the F word. Expletive there. I'd probably be saying the same thing too, though. Hey, Shauna, look at you being a member for 3 months. Your arm changed color. Welcome in, everybody. I was on another page, so I didn't see you guys all coming in. Hey, baby girl. Welcome in. I have to go back down. I saw some more people, but welcome in, everybody. Hey, Kiwi mate. He's doing pretty good with the eyebrows. I think he's doing something with them. Hey, Miriam. I mean, they just look different. I don't know. Maybe he's dyeing them lighter color. I'm just trying to think of how are you going to get this stuff into the jail? But then again, we were talking about Luigi Mangione last night, and he said no to a pair of Argyle socks because they weren't going to go with his outfit. Well, he shouldn't have said that because little dummy, there was inside the cardboard that comes in the sock, it had a love letter in there for him. Don't know who it was from. I'm curious because usually that's your attorneys bring in your clothes. So who's the love letter from? I'm wondering. I'm still wondering. So she says, come to my room. Bethany says this is Dylan. And Bethany says, run. And she says, down here. Now, if that was me and I was Dylan, I don't know if I could run down there. I don't know if I could. I think I'd be too scared. So at 4:24, DM calls Ethan. And then at 4:24, DM calls or DM to Bethany. And it's not hearsay. It's not a statement. At 4:27, DM outgoing call. And then at 4:27, DM outgoing message, Snapchat. Thank you, Margot, for gifting out memberships. Look at that. 5 memberships. Music City Mom, Misbehaving, April Wine, Gorgeous George. Era May was all gifted. Look at that. I'm kind of wondering why they didn't make the phone call either. Especially, I want to see when they talk to their dad again. Remember they called their fathers? Like, the only reason why I would call my dad that early in the morning after all this is going on, right, is to ask for some advice. Probably. That's probably what I would be doing. Now, I mean, that's probably what they were doing. I think they were probably trying to call their dads or text their dads or family to see what they should do. Maybe they knew something was probably bad, but they didn't want to, go out there and actually face anything. I just don't understand why you don't do something after no one's answering. No one's answering the phones. Next morning, no one's still answering the phones. I mean, I would probably at least yell out to them. And if I didn't get an answer, then I would probably I would probably be calling the police. I wonder if they could have called campus police or something, where maybe they just needed a welfare check. I mean, they could have called the regular police department, had that done, but I don't know if maybe the campus police, if they could have them come over a little faster. But they didn't. They had poor Hunter come over. 4:27, DM's outgoing message to Snapchat. At 4:27:47, DM calls KG, which is Kaylee. At 4:28, DM calls Xana. At 4:29, Bethany calls Madison. At 4:30, Bethany calls Madison. At 4:30, Bethany calls Kaylee. At 4:31, Bethany calls Kaylee. At 4:32, DM texts Kaylee. At 4:34, BF accessed Snapchat. And then at 4:37, she accessed Instagram. So then at 10:23, DM to Madison, are you up? At 11:29, so an hour later, she texts Kaylee, are you up? And then at 11:49, BF phone call to JM. And then 11:56, BF phone call to 911. So I'm going to assume that they, text their dads, call their dads. And then right after that, that's when they decided, to call for 911. I can't really tell you what they were up to because, I mean, even with just what we've heard with the front door being left open, right? The next morning, there was a neighbor that came forward. He said he was walking his dog or something like that. And he saw that the door was left wide open at 8:30 a.m. I have the video if you guys ever need me to pull it up. I'm sure I could find it within 2 seconds. And he said the front door was open. So in order for you to get down from the second story to Bethany Funk's room, you have to go out of Dylan's room, go up the step, that little 4-inch step, go out into the living room, go down the banister, the stairs. That's where the front door is. You go around the front door and around the banister, and then you go back like a hallway to Bethany's room. She's kind of tucked under the living room area. So to me, you would shut that door as you're walking past it. I mean, I think to even get around it, you would have to shut it. So why didn't you shut the door if the door was wide open? You know? Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Doodlebug. Hey, Princess. Hey, Pancakes. Hey, Brandon. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. So, what was I going to do next? I wanted to go to something else next. Just got to figure out how to get there. Okay. So, I don't recall a lot of this stuff. So, like this interview that was done with DM the day of the homicides, and then there was a subsequent, like, I guess there was another interview done. Maybe it has come out in the last couple of weeks and we just kind of like overpassed it, or maybe there's just so much Idaho content my brain is just forgetting right now. But let me find it really quick where I wanted to show you guys, and then I'll share the tab with you. That way I'm not scrolling and getting you guys all dizzy. Okay, so I almost timed one of y'all out. I didn't mean to. Thank you, Jenny, for becoming a member. Hey, Lord Mama. Hey, Tanel. Yeah, social media. I still think it is. They say until 4:25 because that's when they stop texting, like the two surviving roommates. But I think it could be 4:20. He could have been out of there. I still think that that's the same timeline. So I wanted to see. Okay, so this is the first one. So initial police interviews, November 13th, 2022, at 12. I'm like right here. If you guys, why is my thing going around and around on your side? It's not doing that on my side. It's weird. That is so weird. It's not doing that on my side. Why is it like having like a thing going around and around and around? I'm just going to do that and go back down. That's weird. It's still doing it. I can see it on my other screen. Is it going like around and around like it's trying to load? Or is it just my Mac, or is it just my iPad? You don't see nothing there? That's so weird. On mine it is. What's going on? Okay, because I don't see it on here on StreamYard. That's weird. Okay, man. I'm glad you guys don't see it. I was gonna be like freaking out there for a minute. I was freaking out there for a minute. I'm like, what is going on with the computer? We didn't even have this, Was I buffering? I'm buffering over here, yeah. Okay. So is anyone else buffering? Yours fine? Everyone else is fine? That's so weird. Okay, let me know if it does do it for you, because that's what it's doing to mine. And that's just really weird. Like, okay. Okay, awesome. So Detective, so at 12:09 p.m., Officer Mitch Nunes took a statement from DM outside of the 1122 King Road house. And some of the stuff that she says, I don't that's what I don't remember her saying. So I'm glad that we're going through this. So it says DM described the intruder as not insanely tall, wearing all black with a ski mask covering his forehead and mouth. DM stated he was a little bit taller than me, and she could not see much of him. She described him as a basketball player, kind of skinny, and said his voice was unfamiliar. When did she talk to Brian Kohlberger? Because she said, and his voice was unfamiliar. That means she heard his voice to know that it was unfamiliar. Say what, DM? Am I on drugs? I'm just kidding. I know I'm not. But am I reading this right? And it said, well, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you, Nick. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm going to help you. You're right. I'm like, wait a minute. Your girl didn't get her nap today, you know? Thank you. Yeah, she did say that. She did. But she heard that a male voice. I was just like, wait a minute. What do you wait, what? I was going to say, because every time I picture, for some reason, when I picture Brian seeing Dylan, I just picture him in that hallway, like looking out on that 4-inch step. I don't know. Every time I do, that's what I picture. So it says, not insanely tall, wearing all black, and a mask that was just covering his forehead and mouth. See, I'm keeping you guys awake. Keeping you all awake. Hey, CJK. Get your crumb lullabies. I don't know if I said hey to you. Hey, Lenora. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see y'all. It says he was a bit taller than me. I couldn't really see much of him, and I'm almost positive he was wearing a full black outfit, and he had this mask that was just over his forehead and his mouth. So then at 1:47, Detective Lawrence Mowry interviewed DM at the Moscow Police Department. So DM described the intruder. So this was her second time, going, like she went from the house to the police station to make the second statement. DM described the intruder as a white male, maybe my height, a few inches taller, with a skinny, athletic build. She stated he wore all black and a mask covering just his forehead and mouth. She estimated his height around 6 feet. Boom. That's right. All the money. According to his driver's license. She mentioned not recognizing his eyes, but was definitely a white guy. She saw a white male she did not know, maybe my height, a few inches taller, skinnier, athletic build, wearing all black, wearing his mask that covers just his forehead and face. A forehead, I guess, and mouth. Regarding his height, she reported, I'm 5'10", so he's probably around 6 foot. I don't remember what his eyes look like either. I didn't recognize eyes, but definitely a white guy, is what she said. So that was her her description of Brian, allegedly Brian Kohlberger. We got to keep it alleged over here. Hey, Southernish. I was just thinking of you today. I was like, where's Southernish been? Good to see you. Oh, we're going to have the details. Oh, yeah, memorized. Oh, yeah, Lord Mama, you're going to know everything about this case. by the time that it is done and over with, and we're going to trial. Yeah, I think that everyone's going to be. I think everyone's going to be about most of this case, if not all of it. I don't know what's going on here, but okay. Let me just refresh the page there, and then I can't even speak tonight. Okay, so we went over the 911 call, or not the 911 call, I'm sorry, the text messages between DM and Bethany the night of the homicides. We went through if they were hearsay, not hearsay. Went over the interviews that DM did with the police at the police station, and then she did one at the house. And I think she's done more than that. I'm sure she has. I'm sure she's done more than the other one. Let's see. There we go. I knew there was another one. Okay. I knew there was another one. So November 17th. So this is a few days later. DM was interviewed by ISP Detective Victoria Gooch and MPD Captain, then Sergeant Dustin Blaker. So DM detailed her activities on November 12th, 2022. until going to bed at approximately 3:20 a.m. on November 13th, 2022. Now I'm just saying what she told him. Between 4 a.m. and 4:20 a.m., DM woke up and heard an unfamiliar male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She saw a person wearing all black with a ski mask covering his forehead and mouth. The only feature she distinctly remembered was his bushy eyebrows. And that's probably because that's what sticks out in those balaclava masks, those like hooded masks. That's what you're going to see. He probably should have thought about that. I mean, he does have bushy eyebrows, but I think that he thought he was going to unalive everybody in the house. And I don't know why he didn't with DM, if he didn't see her or if he was exhausted or he said she's not going to say much. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't unalive her. I'm thinking that he didn't see her. It is very like dark right there. So DM's statement is, someone caused it from my mind. It's like I was almost wearing these like blurry glasses, like it's fuzzy and cloudy, but it was like a figure of someone wearing all black. And it was like they had a ski mask that was covering their forehead and their chin and mouth. But I could see, all I remember was seeing their eyebrows. And I don't remember what their eyes look like, but I remember their eyebrows. I don't remember the color of their eyebrows were. I just remember like bushy eyebrows. That's all I could think about. I would say about 3 feet from what I can remember. Again, from could be off because I obviously probably still a little drunk. I just woke up. I don't remember fully. So is she saying she's about 3 feet away from him? I know he looked at me because I could see his eyebrows. I think I just saw one eyebrow. I don't know why or how. If he was going into like the kitchen, maybe, and we go getting them from the side. It says, and that's all. And then just the rest of it's just causing her and DM texting. And it says, Captain Blaker asked what was covering his face. And DM stated, I don't know, weird looking ski mask. It wasn't like the regular ski mask with like eyes and, because I saw his eyebrows and I could think, I think I saw his nose and like part of his face, but I don't know. In response and addressing whether she could see the male's mouth, DM stated, no, and I don't remember if I saw it. Like, I don't remember if I saw his nose, but I know I saw eyebrows. And I don't remember his eyes. I can just feel like I can see eyebrows, but I mean, that could be it. I mean, that would make sense why the forehead was covered and this part of his face was covered. The investigators inquired if DM could provide a composite for an artist. DM responded, no, I don't remember what his eyes look like. I don't remember what his nose looked like. I just remember eyebrows. I don't know exactly what the eyebrows look like at all, really. I just remember thinking like eyebrows. Yeah, bushy, but that's all. But I don't remember the shape. I don't remember like the color. I just remember like bushy eyebrows. That's the only thing I can remember. Wonder what Brian thinks of that. Like, dude, that's all that, you know what I mean? Like when she saw you, she wasn't even like, to me, it doesn't sound like she was almost even that scared right at this point. She's like, I just see bushy eyebrows. Bushy, just bushy. I think it was just her shock, and that's what was prevalent to her. Do you know, like, in sketch artists or sketch composites, they'll make like, you'll see those really ugly sketch composites, like the nose is like super funky looking and like out of place, or their eyes will be like super big or just something like, just something that doesn't look natural. Well, they do that on composite sketches because sometimes the person will have just like slightly bigger nose, but if they make it to where like it's the focal point, then you're more like, I guess adapt to like see that person. But look into that. About to say, hey Sierra. She thought there was a fireman in the house. Yeah. And I don't know what she thought about what he was holding in his hand, other than I think he might have been holding the knife, and that's what she saw. But if he was holding it, that would cover the blade. You would think she would see the silver part of the knife. I don't think he was walking out with the blade part in his hand. That doesn't sound very responsible, to make, if you're trying not to leave evidence somewhere. Hey, PKC. Hey, girl next door. Hey, Tish. Hey, Jenna. She thought it was a vacuum. Like a vacuum part. And I don't think that he took the blade sharpener with him, but that does look like a vacuum part when I looked it up. Now, I don't think that he took it with him. He wouldn't need it. He wouldn't need a knife sharpener. I don't even know why he really bought that. I mean, I guess if he wanted to use it later. And that's another thing. Why buy the sharpener, right? If you know you're going to get rid of the murder weapon, right? Why buy a sharpener for something that you're not going to have? Unless that's why he went back onto Amazon to get another one. But why buy the sharpener? Why don't just wait and buy the sharpener with the second knife? It's almost as if he was going to keep it, but he left the sheath there, so he had nothing to put the knife into. So maybe that's why he didn't keep it. I don't know. I don't know. But we're going to listen to Steve, get a better understanding of how he's feeling and what this family's going through. I mean, I couldn't imagine. But he did this interview a day ago. It's a really good interview. It's like 22 minutes long. Like I said, I'll pause it here and there so we can talk about it. But if you guys are appreciating the content so far tonight, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all those buttons. This is the podcast that we've been watching on Fox 13, I believe it is. And so they just came out with this podcast episode number 9, and it's Kaylee Goncalves' dad. And it says it has issue with the 911 call. He doesn't have an issue. So I don't know why it says that.
I guess, first of all, just how are you and your family doing right now?
Right now, it's a good day. I mean, we got a large document upload. The more information we have, the better we feel. It's 2.5 years, and to, wait on some of these pieces of information that we've been hearing about from the day that this happened, it just feels good to have it out. And I've always believed that the truth will set you free, and you should never hide factual information that the jury is going to be presented. It's just stuff that you, regardless of it, you're gonna see it, and it's the things that a gag order leads to, where people start going to alternative media and starts finding these. They call it speculation, but it's just lies. It's just people making up theories. So it's nice to have true factual information out there for people to digest, go over, and analyze, because there's a lot there. There's a lot to go over, and these are dark days for the defense.
I guess speaking of, it seems like there's a new piece of information that comes out constantly about what happened that night. For you, as the father of Kaylee, I mean, how is that? Do you brace yourself for each piece of information that comes out? I mean, how does that work for you?
This is my family, so I expect to take on a brunt of that information, so it gives me a chance to be the father. Olivia's right there with me. She's headstrong, very headstrong, so she's digging into the docs. She's probably sent me 2 or 3 docs since we've been on this interview. So it allows me to be back in control of some of the things that are regarding my family. You see all these strangers just take your life and dangle it in front of you and just tell you, you're going to go here, you're going to go there, you're not going to see this is going to be sealed. it's a hard experience to go through. But, like I said, today's a good day, and it's nice to have true information out, something to digest, something new, something that collaborates what you've been hearing the whole time. So it's good when these pieces all come together. But it's a struggle, 2.5 years is a long time to wait.
I'm going to need him to get that full Manchu back before court starts. So we need to like rally together or something and go to the Facebook page and make a little post over there for them and say, hey, because he meant business when he had that. So we need him to have that again, because he can't wear the shirt, that says we're going to execute you. He can't wear that. That's they're saying no. So this is the next best thing.
I can't even imagine what you all have been through. I know recently, the 911 call came out. I guess, first of all, how was that for you and your family when you first heard it?
Honestly, it's terrible. My wife never wanted to hear it. She still doesn't hear. She still hasn't listened to it. She probably never will. I know other mothers don't want to hear it. Nobody really wants to hear it, but I've always said, if you're going to arrest somebody and take them off the street for years, you better have the evidence and you better show it to people. And I don't want to live in a place where we can lock people up and then hide all the evidence and just say, you're going to have to trust us. You're just going to have to realize that we know more than you know. And it's like, well, then show us the information and let us make our own decision. So it's good and positive in that aspect. But I know those girls that did those calls, the people that were in there, and I know that this is now they've been tossed in the same bucket as us, that where you get victimized and you're feeling like the whole world's staring at you and criticizing everything you say, everything you do, wishing you would have done this and that, and hindsight's 2020. It's an impossible world that we you guys on media have to put up with and deal with. I have a whole new respect for people who can sit here in front of a camera and speak articulately and hit all the points, never make any mistakes. It's not an easy thing to do. People think that this is all scripted, but a lot of times this is live.
No, that's the easy part. That's the easy part to do. Like this, that's easy. The hard things to do are the unscripted moments. Like when you go and you see their kids, the Idaho vigil, for instance. That was like I remember the first thing that really hit me, like that when they did that vigil for them, for things like that. That's when I feel like it hits you.
And it's one and done, and these are the things you don't want to know about. But when a tragedy like this happens, you catch up and you get into, you get in a whole another mode. But I really feel for those girls, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. They had nothing to do with this. 19 years old. I mean, put yourself in a 19-year-old's perspective. How many times have you heard something you thought something was a noise you heard in the backyard or noise you heard in the front of your house, and you went to bed, you didn't mind anything, and then the next day you wake up and you notice that your window was broken or something happened. You kick yourself, saying, I heard something, but I just talked myself out of it. I didn't have any idea that it was something legit. I think these girls are probably feeling something like that, or that's the closest thing that I can put myself in perspective. But I know for a fact that my own daughter had scenarios where she felt like her life was in danger, and she called me rather than call 911. So, 19 years old, I wouldn't expect anything other than what happened. And I think those detailed records show exactly what happened, exactly where they are. People don't realize that when you combine that with the CAS system, they know exactly what happened on those phones, and it's a perfect timeline that tells them everything that happened that night and the following day.
Are you in contact with them? Have you talked with them since this 911 call came out?
Not really. I'm gonna leave it at that, but I think they've kind of reached out in a proxy way. So yeah, and then the courts kind of tell us, what they're thinking and what they're going through. So we know a little general aspect of it. I was asked to give a little bit of a heads up because, me and Christy have spent a lot of time, praying and talking to the girls. And one thing that we kind of got a real overall feeling was we could do more to protect the victims and help them get through this and not be the victims outside of their behavior. Don't attack them. Don't have them. Make sure people understand they had nothing to do with it. It is what it is. All these digital records support exactly what happened. You couldn't have walked down the street and not had those FBI agents and the systems that they put in place there. They probably know exactly what floor they were on, when they went up, when they went down. The technology they have is amazing. So all these people who are so-called speculators just lying to you. The truth is they know exactly where those girls were, exactly what they were doing, and they had nothing to do with this. They did everything that I would expect from a 19-year-old girl that was going through a weird scenario where at 10 o'clock the next day, she's checking her resume for a job. They had no clue. So, look at those little details and, put yourself in their perspective. And, if you can't handle it, go find another case to follow, find something else to do, because we don't want you attacking them.
Steve, we were talking.
Touche, Steve. Listen to the man. He's sticking up for him. I think that's nice.
Talking about those, filings that were coming out, right? And how there's so many of them coming out. I know you've been paying close attention to them. In one of them recently, it talked about alternative perpetrators and how there could be others, dozens of others who could be behind this. What are your thoughts on that? Do you still think they have the right guy?
Oh, I know they have the right guy. The DNA under, Maddie's leg, under a blanket. You don't get your DNA at a crime scene when you have nothing to do with the crime scene. And then it just happens to have surveillance of like 5 cameras that have your white car driving around. How many teenagers do you know, or somebody that's 28 who just turned their phone off in the middle of the night with 90% battery life? And it's my understanding that they know how the phone was turned off.
So he says that the phone was turned off with it having 98% battery life. I haven't heard that prior to this. Have you guys heard that prior to this? I'll take it back a couple seconds so y'all can hear it too, but listen to what he says. That the phone was powered off, because they know they have like the technology to know if your phone is powered off like by you, or if it's powered off by like the battery going dead. So apparently his phone had 98% battery. Or I'm sure it does it when it powers off. It probably like does some sort of like extraction of the data, like to where it keeps it to like show you how much battery life you have. So when you power it back on, you still have that battery life. Very interesting. Okay, let's go back a couple seconds.
Do you know, or somebody that's 28 who just turned their phone off in the middle of the night with 90% battery life? And it's my understanding that they know how the phone was turned off. So this individual.
So they know how the phone was turned off, he's saying. That ain't good for you, Kohlberger.
Went out that night. The chances of you driving around that night are pretty slim. 2:40 something. He left his house, turns his phone off, and goes and does some convert stuff. Look at this guy, thinks he's smarter than Idaho. He thinks he's way above us, and he's going to get away with it. He's going to trick everybody. He's got his PhD, fancy degree, and he thought he could come out here and kill and get away with it, become some kind of famous serial killer. But I don't think it's going to end well for him, and I think he's going to realize that Idaho doesn't play. and he's got some scary days ahead of him.
How do you feel about, these autism claims and, trying to remove the death penalty off the table?
For as smart as he was really stupid, I hate to say it, but if he would have did those crimes in Washington, he would be looking at a whole different reality. He would not be looking at the death penalty. He would not be looking at people that are really going to be engaged in the case at the level that they are. The reason this case is blown up is because in Idaho we really care, and we don't take a murder like this, lightly. And people being killed in their bed while they're asleep, going to school, trying to improve their lives. That's like the last place you should actually be for, facing a circumstance like that. So, I think he was kind of foolish. He was kind of foolish. And the only thing that makes sense to go from one state that you live in that doesn't have the death penalty to one that does have it by choice means that he disrespected everybody that is a citizen in Idaho, and he thought that we wouldn't have the conviction to follow this case all the way through, and the risk of going to a death penalty state made more sense for him. And that was a strategy that he used that is still going to be played out to this day to figure out how bad of a move that truly was.
Sorry, I was muted. Let me know what you guys think about him not just committing this crime in Washington. Like, why not do this on your own campus to your own people, over there in Washington? It's not like he's from the campus. I mean, he's from Pennsylvania technically. So, I mean, maybe he just didn't want to do it, like I said, in his own backyard, but he basically was doing it in his own backyard, going 12 minutes away, 10 minutes away.
I know out of a lot of the families, you've been there front and center. You've been at different hearings and throughout this entire time. What is it like for you when you see Kohberger in court?
You want to do all kinds of illegal things that you're not supposed to even talk about, but you can think about them. Crimes of the mind, at least that's not illegal yet. But it's hard, it's terrible. You're put in a position to protect your family, and you have one of the worst days of your life, and you just keep having to relive it over and over and over until it gets itself through the process. So it's terrible, but in some ways I was built to handle the kind of hate and grief that you get for this. And I feel in a way I'm glad that the other families that came forward and just said, "Hey, Steve, run with it. It's you have it. If you can handle it, then go ahead and speak freely." So I have that flexibility to know that I'm speaking for some other people, and these, especially with Maddie Mae. I mean, that was my girl, and we tell people we didn't lose one girl, we lost two, and it's just more work for us to do, more reasons for me to speak out, and come home from work and sit here, fire up a computer, and do a little interview. It's the least I can do for what those victims went through that night. It really is an honor for me to be able to talk to them and bring some clarity to the facts. That's what we're talking about today, is things that came out of court, not speculation, not rumors. These are things we really, really should be pointing to. And it's a weird, sometimes an upside down world where courts feel like pressured to hide the evidence. And I'm still not fully understanding why that's a good strategy. If the facts of a case make you feel guilty, or it makes other people think you're guilty, chances are you're guilty.
You were talking about the facts of the court and
That's what I was going to say. Well, not so much that. Well, that Trixie, yeah, that he's very strong because, when you're talking about something traumatic, or you're talking about someone that you lost, especially in a traumatic that you lost in a traumatic way, it's exhausting to talk about it. I mean, in my opinion, in my with my trauma and everything that happened with me, it's exhausting to talk about it. Like, you want to talk about it, but then you don't. And like, so when you do, after you're done talking about it, you like don't want to talk to anybody for at least 30, 45 minutes. You need your space just to be like with yourself. You feel drained. Like the whole rest of the day, you might as well just go take a nap. And that's part of the reason why I'm still hesitant on telling my story about my car accident, but I'm getting there. Hey, 12 gauge, I'm getting there with it. But yeah, it's exhausting. So I can only imagine, how much it's taken out of him all these years to be doing this.
And coming out.
Well, we've seen
and
it.
documents and whatnot. I believe there was one document recently that came out that talked about, I think it mentioned, a family member, perhaps you, of Kaylee's, that was wearing a shirt talking about the firing squad. Have you seen that? What are your thoughts of that, of being kind of named specifically or pointed out when it comes to things like that?
There's going to be these weak attempts of people to try to silence us. They want to silence somebody who's a vocal aspect of the case, and I'm not worried about it. It has nothing to do with us. I have never worn anything. I don't even know what the details are of that. I would love for someone to show me some proof of that, and don't show me some picture of us walking around the courtroom, outside of the courtroom with some shirt, because I'll wear whatever I want. That's my right as an Idaho citizen and member of America. We can wear whatever we want out in public, but we don't wear it in the courtroom. So, that's just a tactic. But if they're focused on me, then they're not focused on the real important issues. So whatever, it's doesn't bother me one bit.
Last week, Idaho, the governor signed the bill into law that the firing squad is now the main primary execution method. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a dark subject matter, but Idaho deserves people to do the best that they possibly can to represent them and to address things like this. So it's a harsh reality. Unfortunately, we have people that come from states like Pennsylvania and kill us. It sucks. Another person from Pennsylvania went and shot at the president. Another one from Pennsylvania went and shot at CEO. But
Just
the
went
best
over
thing you
last
can
night.
do in those type of situations is have the infrastructure and the politicians that want to support everyone and make sure that we set an example that this isn't a place where we're going to tolerate this type of behavior. Everybody makes mistakes. It's not like a traffic accident or a drinking and driving or drugs or something like this. This is somebody playing God and ending people's lives. So we got to make a determination. Is this something that we're going to put? We're going to draw a line in the sand and be done with this type of decision making. And I think Governor Little, he's an amazing man. He sees what happened to a group of his citizens, and he put it in action. And that's what you want from a politician. You want a politician that sees something happen to his community, and he doesn't sit about it and cry about it and talk about it and moan about it. He goes and he changes things. He addresses the law to address what's happening to his citizens. And I think we're pretty lucky to have a guy like that in a position as a governor. So I'm glad to see that he's went forward with that.
You talked about, losing two girls. For folks who may not have known Kaylee and Maddie, what were they like?
Two girls that were like friends that became sisters. They both met at a private little charter academy, which was like a nightmare to them. They had to wear like uniforms, and these are two girls that probably like dreamed of looking with fashion and style going to school, and they had to wear these uniforms. So I think Maddie had something in her hair, and it caught Kaylee's attention. She thought, if she's wearing something like that, she's pretty inclined to like the same things as she did.
Stephanie.
And I think they started talking about girl stuff at Taylor Swift, both fans. So they hit it off, and they'd been friends ever since. So I've told other people we taken trips across the into different countries. Kaylee went to Hawaii with them for at least a week. So these girls were very close. They were like sisters, and to this day we have questions of like details, and we're always thinking we can go out and ask Maddie Mae, and we're like, we can't, that's when it hits you, is when you're thinking like, who could confirm what she was wearing, what she was doing, and you always think of Maddie. And I know that Karen said the exact same thing, where she's got something that she needs to know about her daughter, and her first person to think of is Kaylee. And then you realize at that moment that you really been hit. You've kind of been sucker punched with two different people that are supposed to be in your lives. My son and my sisters, these are people that were at their weddings. These were their best friends for life. So yeah, 100% we lost two people that were part of our lives, and we're supposed to be a part of our lives to the very end. So we that's why we're focused on this case.
I'm so sorry. What do you miss most?
Just their laugh, their playfulness, the hugs when they were about to come into the room, the hugs when they were going to leave the room. If the kids were ever going to go somewhere, even if they're going to run to the store to buy us something, we would give that hug. Always left saying we loved him, and that's how I know the last thing I ever said to my daughter was I love her. When she jumped in her car and went down to a dance and had a dance, she was a dance participant with one of the people that survived. That's how close of a friends they were. These guys were all good friends. So, hopefully people can put that in perspective and understand that, that there's only one bad guy, and that's who we should be focused on. Go look at these facts of the case. Go look about, the white car, the surveillance, the K bar that showed up at his house, the multiple witnesses that's seen him
Wait,
in
what?
possession of it.
Oh, wait,
Go look at
wait. What did he say? Did he say the K bar that ended up at his house? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I've heard this. This is my second time here. This is my third time, actually, I think, listening to this tonight. Did he say? I'm like, Oh, Trixie. I used to always give my mom a kiss no matter what. No matter what. When we left, if I was mad at her and I was like, I'm leaving, no matter how old I was, I would turn around, go and give her a kiss on her cheek, tell her I loved her, no matter how mad I was. Because you never know, I'm going to go back a little bit.
There's only one bad guy,
One bad guy.
That's who we should be focused on. Go look at these facts of the case. Go look about, the white car, the surveillance, the K bar that showed up at his house.
Okay. The K bar that showed up at his house. Maybe Patrick, but he would have said Amazon click history, right? If he was talking about the K bar from the Amazon, I'm gonna go back on that. That's just weird to me.
There's only one bad guy, and that's who we should be focused on. Go look at these facts of the case. Go look about, the white car, the surveillance, the K bar that showed up at his house, the multiple witnesses that's seen him in possession of it. Go look at that, and then
the multiple witnesses that saw him in possession of it.
That's what you should pay attention to. None of the stuff that people are saying on YouTube or Reddit or wherever you're hitting it. The court should be treated completely different. The facts coming from there should be honored, and that's what we strongly encourage.
Well, he's saying, that Kohlberger had the knife at his house. The K bar was at his house. I don't know if that's true, but if that is true, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. But if that's true, that they find a K bar knife with no sheath at his house, then he better just try to take a plea deal.
Do you have a message for him?
We're coming. Yeah, we're coming. You picked Idaho, and everybody in the state, is watching this case. So,
Not everybody in the state, everybody in the country and internationally. We're all here.
I don't think it would have been that big of a deal in Pennsylvania, but every action
No, it
has a
would've.
reaction. So your decision of picking this community will play out, and I look forward to that.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. I truly appreciate your time. I know you have to hop on to another call. Is there anything
Who's
else
he
you'd
gonna be
like us to
calling?
know or our viewers to know that maybe I didn't ask you?
No, but you hustle, man. You've been after this interview for a while, so I respect your hustle, and you earned it.
Aw.
Oh, well, thank you for making time for us. I truly appreciate it.
Have a great one.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, okay, I'll let you go, but thank you again, and please keep us posted on whatever comes next. 'Cause I know you guys are dealing with so much, and none of us can imagine. So thank you.
All right.
Her hustle. I don't know who it is, but her hustle's what got her hustle's what got her. Steve Goncalves. He said your hustle. So she must have been reaching out to him, maybe like on Facebook or something like that. And that was number 9. So this is podcast number 8. I think that we saw these maybe, but they're just like broken up now. So we'll go through with them because there's some new information in them that I don't remember hearing before. So maybe I just missed it when we watched it when it was like a long thing. Maybe I missed it. But and let me make sure that nobody's like spinning out over here. I'm still spinning over here on mine. I don't know why it's doing that. That's so weird. Everybody looks like they're good. So, okay, we'll move on. So this next video that comes out is going to be about, let me make sure I got the right one. Okay. About his time at DeSales University. And remember how they had we went over it on our live just recently. We talked about the murder house at DeSales because we were led to believe the last 2.5 years that Kohlberger studied inside of that house, that he did experiments and that he was like all up in that, right? Well, we're going to come to find out tonight, he was taking online classes. So he would have had apps. I didn't even realize that. And I would have known if I would have realized that he was taking online classes for DeSales, he wouldn't have had access to the university like that. Like he wouldn't have access to the murder house and things of that nature. And that's what they kind of go over in this podcast. It's a podcast, but it's a video, so I don't get it. But we're going to play it through. And then we'll pause it here and there for commentary. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it so much. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button for your girl. It does help the channel grow. It really does help me out. And if you are into true crime, especially the Idaho 4 case, we cover it frequently on the channel. So if that's something that you're into, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos and lives. And I will have that interview with Steve Goncalves out tomorrow. I'm going to put it out in the morning. That way, if there's people that couldn't come to the whole live or do the whole live, they can still watch that video that we just watched.
DeSales University in Pennsylvania, where Brian Kohlberger got his master's in criminology in 2021. But was he studying to catch criminals or become one? DeSales University, in response to our questions, issued new statements. AJ Janavel shares what he learned.
There's another crime scene house connected to Brian Kohlberger, some 2,500 miles away from where the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered. DeSales University showcases
We went through this
crime
actual
scene
video.
house on Taylor
We actually went through this whole video, the same exact video that they're going to show us.
Drive, and it's hands-on training for students considering a criminal justice degree. The faculty includes leading experts in the field, and there are internships created specifically for DeSales students at the Regional Forensic Lab, area police departments, and the local coroner's office. So when you hear Kohlberger studied under Dr. Catherine Ramsland at DeSales, who is considered one of the nation's leading authorities on serial killers, and that part of his coursework included a survey asking criminals how they planned their crimes, and how it felt to commit them? It might give you a real Dexter moment. Showtime's fictional crime scene expert who doesn't just solve murders, he commits them too.
With Kohberger, it's easy to start asking yourself, did this person really want to be a member of law enforcement? Or was this just the safest and closest way they could get to whatever kind of demons or fantasies that they had been fighting for decades that then eventually came to this?
But that would be a gross misunderstanding of what criminal justice really teaches students, according to crime experts and academics. Mary Ellen O'Toole is both.
I went to school for criminal justice, so I'm curious to see what she says. Again, I've listened to this before earlier.
So forensic science is based on the natural sciences. So our students study things that include physics and math and chemistry and biology. It's a science degree, and they're trained to use science in their evaluation of crime scenes.
Yeah, that's
Criminal
about it.
justice is a social science. It's a great degree, but it doesn't require the types of natural sciences that a forensic degree requires.
Dr. O'Toole is a former FBI profiler who now heads up the forensic science program at George Mason University. She says there's absolutely no data that suggests someone with a criminal justice or forensic major is more likely to commit a crime. Instead, the common denominators she finds in her classroom tend to be curiosity and compassion in the face of the unimaginable.
To most of us who have never committed a murder, we don't understand it. And our curiosity causes us to say, what happened? How did that person become so divergent in what they've done and what they decided to do, how they hurt or murdered that person? I got to learn more about that. And so to me, when I talk to my own students and my own experience growing up, my students tell me the same thing. They grew up wanting to know the whys and the hows.
So what did Kohberger learn? We asked DeSales if he would have gotten hands-on training like the kind seen in the crime scene house video. In a statement, the school says no. Kohberger was learning remotely. The Masters of Criminal Justice online graduate program is virtual. On-campus labs or environments are not part of the coursework. The crime scene house isn't a part of the Masters of Criminal Justice program.
So I have my bachelor's in criminal justice. So he has his master's, and I did mine online. So I can kind of know what classes he was taking. And yeah, he would know some things. He would know some things.
What about him surveying?
But he wouldn't know everything. Like there's different types of like things that you can do with a criminal justice degree.
Criminals on Reddit with prompts like,
And if you have a science
why did
degree
you
on
choose
top of
that
it,
victim before making your move? How did you approach the victim? The school says this kind of behavioral study was standard, and Kohberger wasn't working alone. All students enrolled in the Masters of Criminal Justice program are required to complete a capstone research project that is supervised by faculty. And
so I wonder if that was when he was working with that other guy. Because remember the guy that came out and said that they did a project together? I wonder if this is the project. I wonder if he had anything to do with these surveys that went out.
Kohberger's professors are listed as co-researchers on the survey. There's no argument that Kohberger was a standout at DeSales. A professor who recommended him for the doctorate program at Washington State University described Kohberger as brilliant and one of my best students ever. But O'Toole says studying criminology doesn't mean you'll be a better criminal than, say, someone who reads up on a murder case in the papers or listens to true crime podcasts.
The learning process is not unusual. It really depends on where people are looking for their information. Now, whether it's classroom training or following someone else that's committing the kinds of crimes that you do, does it make you 100% better at what you do? Does it make you 100% more successful? Can you still make mistakes? You can absolutely still make mistakes because there's a lot of emotion that goes into committing a crime. And when you lose control in a crime scene, then you're more likely to make mistakes and leave evidence. And they don't write about that in a textbook.
Coming next month, inside the Idaho murders, we go inside the mind of Bryan Kohberger.
So you have things like depression, anxiety, depersonalization, tinnitus, which is ringing in the ears. And those also come with visual snow.
From visual snow to new claims of autism.
Oh,
Can
gosh.
Kohberger's state of mind impact the case?
In my humble opinion, my humblest opinions, he didn't have visual snow. He doesn't have autism. If he does, he has a speck of it, and it's not going to get you off it's not going to get you off the death penalty. They're trying to just throw that at the wall because they want to say, well, you're not you surely wouldn't put someone like him to death. Somebody that they said that he can't even take care of himself. His daily living needs aren't met. That means you can't wash your hair, wash your butt, feed yourself, go to work, go to school, be a TA, run 6 miles with your buddy at night, vacuum your house at midnight. Can't do them things. I know, I'm so over it too, Trips. I'm like, I think it's just to the point where I just can't even believe she even went there. Like, let's find a diagnosis that we don't have to technically like prove. We can just coax someone what to say and how to act. I mean, him staring straight ahead means nothing to me. I've seen him look straight at Bill Thompson before. He isn't always staring straight ahead. He has a weird gaze because, yeah, he's like a deer in the headlights because he's going on trial for unaliving 4 people. He's probably going to have that gaze. He didn't say, hey, I'm innocent. When they asked him, are you innocent or guilty? He said, I'm not going to talk. He didn't say anything. I can't with this guy. He was supposed to be such a big bad wolf going in there in the dead of night, killing 4 people. You're not what you're. It's beyond me. I thought he would actually look a lot scarier than what he did, though, when we first got to see a look at him when he came into Pennsylvania. So this video is about his travels that night of the homicides. It just goes over where he was, where he went, the surveillance that they have, and stuff like that. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank you for liking the video. I appreciate that, guys. You guys have been very, very kind tonight. Very kind chat. We do have a really good chat though here. And welcome in, everybody. And if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Tanya, or TitaniumBuilt. It's nice to meet you. And we have been talking about the Idaho 4 case tonight, but we've been discussing this case since November of 2022, since it happened. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for, all new content, or not the like button, the bell icon, and hit the like button too. But don't forget to hit that bell icon. That way you're alerted to new lives.
The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But the trip Bryan Kohberger allegedly took the night of the murders is full of unexpected twists and turns, just like the case itself. What really happened out there on the back roads and side streets will be fought over at trial. But one thing's for sure, people who know Kohberger say he was never the same afterwards. The probable cause affidavit shows how police used cell phone pings and security camera footage to track the white Hyundai linked to the quadruple murders from Pullman to Moscow and back again. What sticks out is how roundabout the route is, including an unnecessary detour down miles of deserted back roads. If Kohberger really was behind the wheel that night, 2 crime experts agree his state of mind would have been all over the map.
Well, first of all, when he actually makes a decision to go out that night to do it, his heart is racing at probably 120 beats per minute. He's nervous. He's sweaty.
They've crossed a line into a realm that they've only up to that point imagined. A lot of them fantasize about it, but they don't cross the line. But then once they cross the line, it feels like, holy cow, fantasy and reality are merging.
Police say Koberger's cell phone pinged around 2:45 a.m. near an intersection leading to SR 270, the Pullman-Moscow highway. Then it goes off the grid, turned off, or put in airplane mode, in what investigators say is an attempt to
And now we know it was turned off.
avoid detection. Around 3:25 a.m., security cameras in a Moscow neighborhood capture the white Hyundai on Indian Hills Drive, well past the turn that would have been the direct route to the victim's house. Still, it only takes a few minutes to reach King Road. The affidavit says Moscow police collected numerous security videos when they canvassed the area around the victim's house to see if the suspect or his car was caught on camera. This clip may be one of them, the so-called Linda Road video. It's racked up thousands of views as true crime accounts and chat rooms obsess over it frame by frame. If genuine, then this security camera was recording about 250 feet away from the crime scene. The clip shows a car that appears to be circling the area. Around the same time, police say there were multiple sightings of the suspect's car casing the victim's house. Around 4:04, police say Koberger does a final pass of the house, then heads up to the apartment complex next door, which has a parking lot overlooking the victim's house. Someone standing there would have an unobstructed view of the bedroom windows and the sliding glass door, believed to be the killer's point of entry. The murders happened sometime between 4:04 and 4:20, when the white Hyundai is again spotted on security camera, leaving the neighborhood at a high rate of speed. After that, there's a 20-minute gap where there's no footage or cell phone data. But police have a pretty good hunch that Koberger was headed south out of town. When his cell phone turns back on at 4:46 a.m., he's already far down Idaho State Highway 95. What do you think's going through his mind as he's instead of just going home, he goes for this road trip?
Well, because he's still hyped. He's got to come. He's got to try to. He didn't want anybody to see him real hyped.
What would you feel like if you just massacred 4 people, and maybe you'd thought about it, but you never actually thought you'd go through with it, and then you actually did, and what it's almost like living a nightmare, or maybe it was like a dream that he finally realized, and but just it's a lot to put together. It's not like now they're just dancing around in glee. There's probably about 50 different emotions going through a person. Panic of going through each thing that probably didn't go as planned.
And at that
No, not that panicked. He was cruising back by there at 9:32 the next day. The next morning, he wanted to see if his little stint, what he did inside that house, if there was people, cops were there, ambulance was there, if anything was going on. I think either that, I think he was going to check to see what was going on. I think he was thinking about going back to get that sheath maybe. But I think once he drove over there, he realized, no, I better not even try to go inside and get that sheath because they know I haven't been at this house before. Someone's going to tell on me.
point, Koberger would also have had a mess on his hands.
He might have been a little bit on autopilot. And
plus, he was too busy taking selfies at his house after 10:30. So he went from the 1122 King Road house back to his house, took a shower, and then took a selfie.
Trying to avoid detection by not going straight home.
Wonder who he sent the selfie to.
Getting rid of stuff. He didn't want to take his bloody stuff home because then it could transfer to something in his apartment, and then even if he got rid of the clothing, they could find the blood there or the knife. He had to get rid of those things. Maybe he didn't know specifically where he was going to go. He's driving around looking for the right place. If he just threw it in the brush somewhere, there's a chance it could still be found,
Police have not produced the murder weapon, and they found no bloody clothing or any blood at all in Koberger's car. But the route Koberger allegedly took down Idaho 95, then over to SR 195 in Washington, is pitch black at night, mostly empty space, fields and woods, crisscrossed by streams. Once you get to SR 195, it's a straight shot up to Pullman. A security camera spots the white Hyundai around 5:25 a.m. on Johnson Road, south of town. Then it's seen again on multiple WSU campus cameras in a line to Koberger's apartment. He's home by 5:30 a.m. From there, we know Koberger continued attending lectures and teaching classes.
Now, I wonder if it was quiet that night upstairs for the downstairs neighbor. You know, the neighbor that was like, he was always vacuuming or doing some OCD type of stuff up there, like cleaning and stuff. I wonder if it was quiet that night. Now, you know, they asked her. You know that she was interviewed, her and her husband.
As usual through the end of the semester. But people notice he's acting different.
Usually people, once
like he
they
needs some
kill
sleep
for the first
and a
time,
hamburger.
there's a level of PTSD that occurs and a replaying.
We're not giving him that. No, neither. No, he doesn't get that. Why are you giving him diagnoses? He's not getting PTSD. He gave these families PTSD.
Of everything over and over and over again. I know that people mentioned that they saw him afterwards and he seemed totally frazzled. He seemed in just a completely different mood than he was leading up, the agitation leading up to it. It was like it was a different, completely different person.
Okay. Very, very, oh, look at me. I'm all the way over here. His eyes are scary. I don't care who you are. They are. They're scary. Let me, oh, what did I do? Okay. I was trying to do something really fast while that video was playing, but I didn't have enough time. So that's okay. That's just fine. I could do it when we get off of here. I am going to post a video tomorrow that is just the interview clip of Steve's interview that we went through tonight. So if you see it come up tomorrow, that's what that is. But I am going to start doing more pre-recorded videos. I can't remember which one of you guys asked me to look at Brian Schaefer's case, but I can't remember. If you're in the chat, let me know. I'm not going to have enough time. I want to get footage from there. So I think I'm going to make it one of my first pre-recorded videos. So that way I can get footage from the old Ugly Tuna Saloon where he was last seen. I can drive up there. It's about an hour and a half, hour, 15 minutes away. So I can go up there and get like some footage and stuff like that. So that podcast, it was just Fox 13. Just Fox 13. Fox 13 Seattle is the channel that it was under. Hey, Wandering Orphan. And we've been watching them here on the channel for like the last couple months. I think they said the new one will be the next one will be in April. So, and then also the podcast Idaho Murders that we've been following, they're going to have a new podcast as well. So there's a lot of new stuff coming out for Idaho 4. And then I didn't see any new documents today, which I was kind of surprised. But I don't know. I might, Trips. Yeah, I might put it as a premiere. Yeah, it'll be a few days before I get it done, and it'll probably be like a week or so. Because I want it to be really good. Especially like if I'm going to do it over Brian Schaefer, I want to make sure I give him, the due diligence that he deserves. So he does deserve, his story to be out there everywhere. I know that, what's his name? Derek Lasvier, the detective guy. I think he's a detective. He's like an ex-detective, I think. He has his own YouTube channel. He's, does I think he does stuff with Kendall Ray, maybe. But he did he did a video over it. Yeah, I like that way. Yeah, I did that on my during my vacation a couple years ago, and it was so nice doing premieres. It was Idaho podcast premieres too, and it was just we had like a full chat, no trolls. I literally had like the best vacation ever and the best chat and the best lives. The whole week was like the best week ever. I was like, what is going on? And then I came back and I was just so refreshed. Hey, Exquisite. Welcome in. Oh, I love the new judge. And I love that he doesn't give her way. You know, she was getting a lot of things her way. And I don't know if it's because Hitler knew, or because Judge knew he was going to be out of there or what, but he was really giving her a lot. And we weren't getting anything. We were getting nothing. And so for us to get, you know, the 911 call, the K-bar knife, you know, the Amazon purchase, the transcripts for the night of the homicides, what, you know, Dylan and Bethany were doing, and all the other stuff, you know, the balaclava coming out, and he bought a balaclava at Dick's Sporting Goods. There's a lot of stuff that's just been coming out, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. But that's all I have for you guys for tonight, I believe. Let me go. Actually, I'll go over to, I like to go over to Twitter. Every once in a while, there'll be something if I type his name in. If not, it's my whole page is full of Sebastian Rogers. Everybody's fighting with everybody. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, Brian Kohlberger fan club. How many people are following this? Really, 30 people? Wow. I guess there's nothing. I don't see anything. I don't think anyway. The latest. We'll go to the latest. Okay. People are still saying that people that aren't involved in this are involved in this. I just don't understand it. Multiple people know what happened, but I'm not sure multiple people were involved in the actual killings. But we know one thing for sure. Brian Kohlberger didn't do it. Okay. What are these people on? They've drank the Kool-Aid over here on Twitter. They have drank the Kool-Aid. I'm trying to find anything that's important, but no, there's like, you know. I don't even know who that is. I guess there's a lot more people out there covering this case than I thought. I don't know anybody that's covering it really. I mean, other than like a couple people, but that's it. I was trying to look to see if I could find anything for you, but yeah, yeah. Wow. Sentimental site. Feels like it. Feels like it. Actually, I should just go into the home page and see what first thing we see. What is it? Oh, actually, it's missing person. Let's actually retweet that. That's actually something we want to see. We don't want to see missing people, but we want to see that instead of people fighting about Sebastian Rogers all day. That's all I see. And it's like, really? I expect all of you guys to be outside touching grass this summer. Everybody, all of us, we're all going to be out there together. I'm going to do lives outside. You guys go out with your phone, you know, just watch from your phone, be outside with me. Get us some, you know, nice sun, because for June and July, for most of July, you know, until the end of July, we're open. So take your vacations, take your time off don't take your time off from work. No one's getting a vacation this year. Never mind. Everybody's taking their vacation, you know, for the trial. I'm just kidding, guys. That would be funny though if I made you guys, I'm checking all of you guys like, wait a minute, did you get your vacation time for the trial? But yeah, no, there's some good pro burgers over there. And my page right now is just full of Sebastian Rogers stuff. I think it's because I was covering that case for a while. But it's just too much too much. There's nothing to talk about in that case. That's why you see all these people going to other things like drama. Drama sells. It does. Doesn't sell over here though. I hate drama. I ain't got the time. August 11th. Yep, Margot. I'm ready. I am so ready. This judge doesn't seem like he's going to be pushing anything back. So I'm excited. Oh, well, good, Captain. I'm glad you came here today. I stayed out of them too. I was like, I need my brain to be cleared from all the nonsense and the craziness. I feel bad for that little boy. I wish he would be found, but with who's looking for him and looking after him, I have really no hope. Other than if, the officers go back out there and they start searching again, which I don't know if they're going to do that or not. I would think they would since, it's spring. Spring has sprung. Get back out there and, do some more searching, but we'll see. We'll see if they do. I hope they do. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I'm going to stream the trial. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be streaming the trial for sure. Every single day of it, I will be here. Hey, Aries, I will be here with my blue chair back here because my comfy chair, just in case, which Mia's sitting on it now. She came in when you guys were watching the video. I let her in. The other dog's on the floor, but you can't see her. But yeah, no, I'll be doing it all. I have a walking pad. That's why I got the walking pad. So when we start trials, I can just walk on the walking pad and be listening, get in all them steps. So I appreciate it. But thank you for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. I'll be back on tomorrow evening at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Idaho 4, most likely, because we have a couple other things I wanted to go over with you guys. And then I might come on and do a live tomorrow on the second channel. You never know. It's Unfiltered with Tanya, if you'd like to go check us out over there. And yeah, the green thing everyone keeps bringing up. So in the Sebastian Rogers case, there's a team of creators and we put them as the green team. They kind of coined that phrase. So, because they're green with envy. I don't know. I don't know why it's called that. I kind of do, but I don't know. But I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. But thanks for being here. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know